Before you see Jamaica, you feel it. You feel it in the warmth of the air, in the rhythm that seems to rise from the earth itself, in the sound of waves moving like a heartbeat along the shore. This is not just an island on a map. This is a place with a pulse, a land where history, nature, and culture move together in perfect rhythm. From the very first moment, Jamaica doesn't ask for your attention, it commands it. As the sun rises over the Caribbean Sea, golden light spills across the coastline, revealing waters so clear they seem unreal. The sea shifts from deep sapphire to glowing turquoise, meeting soft sands that stretch endlessly along the shore. Palm trees sway gently, as if dancing to music only they can hear. Along these beaches, time slows down. Life breathes easier. This is where Jamaica introduces itself, calm, beautiful, and endlessly inviting. But beyond the postcard-perfect shores lies something deeper. Jamaica is shaped by powerful contrasts. Towering mountains rise just miles from the ocean, their peaks often wrapped in mist. Rivers carve their way through dense jungles, feeding waterfalls that crash and shimmer in the sunlight. Nature here is alive, bold, and unapologetic. Every view feels cinematic. Every sound layered, birds calling, leaves rustling, water flowing endlessly forward. Jamaica's story is written into its land. Long before modern cities and resorts, the island was home to the Taino people, whose legacy still echoes through names. With soft light drifting over ancient rooftops, and evenings end in stillness, broken only by distant church bells or the wind moving through trees. Estonia does not rush you. It asks you to slow down, to observe, and to feel. This journey begins in a place where centuries stand side by side. Tallinn rises gently from the Baltic coast, its medieval skyline guarded by stone walls that have watched over the city for more than 800 years. Red-tiled roofs glow under changing skies, while narrow streets twist and turn like pages in an old book. Every step echoes with stories of merchants, sailors, craftsmen, and dreamers who shaped this land. Yet Estonia is not frozen in time. Beneath the medieval towers lies one of the most digitally advanced societies in the world. Here, ancient churches stand just blocks away from modern innovation hubs. Wooden doors carved centuries ago open onto cafes, buzzing with creative energy. It is this contrast, the old and the new, that defines Estonia's soul. Beyond the city walls, the country opens into vast natural spaces that feel almost untouched. Over half of Estonia is covered in forests. Pines, birches, and spruces stretch endlessly, creating a landscape where silence becomes a companion. Wooden boardwalks guide travelers across misty bogs where the earth breathes softly beneath your feet. These places are not meant to impress loudly. They are meant to be felt. Water is everywhere in Estonia. Lakes reflect wide northern skies, rivers, wind, survival, in identity. Every conversation reveals layers of wisdom, humor, and strength shaped by generations. As day turns to night, the island glows differently. The sky darkens, stars emerge, and the sea reflects moonlight like polished glass. Fires flicker along beaches, music drifts through the air, and the island exhales. This is Jamaica in its purest form, alive, soulful, and unforgettable. This journey is only beginning. Beyond these first impressions lie hidden waterfalls, misty mountains, legendary flavors, untold stories, and places untouched by time. Jamaica is not a destination you simply visit. It's a place that stays with you long after you leave. And as we go deeper into this island's wonders, one truth becomes clear: Jamaica doesn't just welcome you, it changes you. The ocean is never silent in Jamaica. It speaks in rolling waves, in gentle splashes against hidden coves, in the steady rhythm that has shaped life along these shores for centuries. Before you even see the beaches, you hear them, a soft invitation pulling you closer. And when they finally come into view, they feel almost unreal, as if nature decided to be extravagant here. Jamaica's coastline is not one single story. It is many stories told in different shades of blue and gold. In some places, the sand is soft and pale, glowing under the tropical sun. In others, it turns warm and golden, framed by cliffs, trees, and rocky edges that give each beach its own character. The sea changes constantly, calm and glass-like in the morning, playful and alive by afternoon, mysterious and dark as night approaches. Along the western shores, long stretches of beach seem to go on forever. The water is shallow, warm, and inviting, perfect for slow walks where the waves kiss your feet and retreat again. Here, the horizon feels endless. Boats drift lazily in the distance, and the sky seems bigger, wider, more open. Time doesn't move quickly in places like this. It stretches, bends, and slows until hours feel like minutes. But Jamaica's true coastal magic often hides away from the crowds. Tucked between cliffs and jungle paths are secret beaches known mostly to locals. These are places where the sand remains untouched, where the water is impossibly clear, and where silence feels sacred. You reach them by walking narrow trails, climbing over rocks, or following instinct rather than signs. And when you arrive, it feels like discovering something meant just for you. Frenchman's Cove feels like a dream, where a freshwater river meets the sea, flowing gently across the sand before disappearing into turquoise water. The contrast is striking. Cool river water on one side, warm ocean waves on the other, surrounded by lush greenery that wraps the beach in privacy and calm. It's a place where nature blends effortlessly, reminding you how connected everything truly is. Along the northern coast, beaches are often framed by dramatic scenery. Green hills rise behind the sand, waterfalls tumble into the sea, and coral reefs shimmer just beneath the surface. Snorkeling here feels like entering another world. Schools of fish dart between coral, sunlight dances through the water, and the ocean feels alive, curious, and full of color. Life along Jamaica's beaches is simple and joyful. Fishermen pull in their nets at sunrise, their boats painted in bright colors that reflect the island's spirit. Children laugh and run along the shore, while vendors pass by offering fresh fruit, coconut water, and stories along with their smiles. Music often drifts through the air, blending with the sound of waves to create a soundtrack unique to this island. As the day fades, the beaches transform once again. The sun sinks low, casting fiery reflections across the water. The sky turns shades of orange, pink, and deep purple, mirrored perfectly by the sea. Shadows grow longer, the air cools, and the world feels softer, calmer. This is the moment when Jamaica feels most intimate, when nature slows down and invites you to simply be present. These beaches are more than places to relax. They are gathering grounds, lifelines, and storytellers. They have witnessed centuries of arrival and departure, struggle and celebration. They hold memories in every grain of sand and every wave that breaks upon the shore. And as you stand here, listening to the sea, one thing becomes clear. Jamaica's beaches are not just beautiful, they are alive. They breathe, they move, and they welcome anyone willing to listen. And this is only one chapter of the island's story. Beyond the shore, deeper wonders are waiting to be revealed. Beyond the shoreline, Jamaica reveals a different world, one shaped by rain, time, and unstoppable growth. The air grows cooler as the land begins to rise, and the rhythm of the sea slowly fades, replaced by the sound of flowing water and rustling leaves. This is the island's green heart, where nature rules without compromise, and every step feels like entering something ancient and alive. Dense rainforests stretch across hills and valleys, layered in countless shades of green. Sunlight filters through towering trees, breaking into soft beams that dance across the forest floor. Vines twist around trunks, roots grip the earth with quiet strength, and the scent of wet soil and fresh leaves fills the air. Here, Jamaica feels raw and untamed, as if untouched by time. Water is the lifeblood of this land. Rivers carve winding paths through the jungle, their clear currents rushing over smooth stones and hidden channels. You hear them before you see them, a constant whisper growing louder as you move closer. Then suddenly, the forest opens, and water comes crashing down from above. Jamaica's waterfalls are not gentle spectacles. They are powerful, alive, and endlessly moving. Dunn's River Falls rises like a staircase carved by nature itself. Water flows over wide stone steps, inviting visitors to climb alongside it, feeling the cool rush against their skin. Boardwalks glide across dark, peat-rich wetlands where water mirrors the sky. Mist floats low in the early morning, blurring the line between earth and air. Each step feels meditative, as if time itself has slowed. These bogs may look quiet, but they are ancient ecosystems, breathing steadily, changing slowly, and holding centuries of memory beneath their surface. Lakes appear unexpectedly, hidden among trees like secrets waiting to be discovered. Their waters are calm, often perfectly still, reflecting clouds, forests, and passing birds. On the shores, reeds sway gently, and dragonflies skim the surface. There is no rush here. People come to sit, to think, or simply to exist without distraction. In Estonia, nature does not entertain, it restores. Rivers weave quietly through the countryside, guiding life along their banks. Small wooden bridges cross their paths, connecting villages and fields. In summer, sunlight dances across the water, while in winter, ice reshapes the flow into sculpted silence. These rivers remind you that movement does not always need noise or speed to be meaningful. Even the coastline feels restrained and peaceful. Along the Baltic Sea, rocky shores meet soft sand, and pine forests reach almost to the water's edge. The sea here is calm and steady, its rhythm unchanging. Fishing boats rest quietly in small harbors, and seabirds glide overhead. There is a sense of balance, land, and water coexisting without conflict. What makes Estonia's nature extraordinary is how deeply it is respected. People do not dominate these landscapes. They move gently through them. Trails are simple, signs are minimal, and the experience is personal. You are not told what to feel. You are allowed to discover it yourself. As seasons change, nature transforms the country entirely. In spring, forests awaken with birdsong and fresh green growth. Summer brings endless daylight, where sunsets stretch for hours and nights never fully arrive. Autumn turns the land into golden fire, while winter blankets everything in snow, creating a quiet so deep it feels sacred. In these spaces, something shifts inside you. Thoughts slow, worries fade. You begin to notice small details, the pattern of bark, the sound of wind through grass, the way light filters through trees. Estonia's nature does not overwhelm. It gently reminds you of who you are beneath the noise of modern life. This is not wilderness meant to be conquered. It is wilderness meant to be respected. And as you leave these forests, bogs, and waters behind, you carry something with you. A calm that lingers, a clarity that stays. In Estonia, nature is not an escape from life. It is life, exactly as it was meant to be. When you leave the mainland behind and move toward the sea, Estonia reveals another side of its quiet beauty. Scattered across the Baltic waters are hundreds of islands, each shaped by wind, salt, and time. Life here follows the rhythm of nature, guided by tides, weather, and traditions passed down through generations. The islands feel different the moment you arrive. The air carries a fresh, salty clarity, and the horizon stretches wider, freer. Roads grow narrower, villages smaller, and silence deeper. On islands like Saaremaa and Hiiumaa, the pace of life slows naturally, as if the land itself is reminding you to breathe. Stone windmills stand tall against open skies, symbols of resilience and simplicity. Their silhouettes turn slowly in the breeze, connecting the present to centuries of island life. Nearby, wooden houses rest quietly among apple trees and wildflowers, their paint faded beautifully by sun and sea. Everything here feels grounded, purposeful, and honest. Along the coast, lighthouses rise like guardians at the edge of the world. They have guided sailors through storms and darkness, their steady beams cutting through fog and night. Standing beside them, you feel both small and protected, surrounded by endless water and open sky. The sea here does not roar. It speaks softly, steadily, with confidence earned over time. Fishing villages dot the shoreline, where boats rest gently in harbors and nets dry in the sun. The smell of smoked fish drifts through the air, carrying with it stories of hard work and close-knit communities. Islanders greet one another with familiarity, their lives intertwined with the sea. This is a place where people know the weather not by forecasts, but by instinct. Nature remains untouched and close on the islands. Juniper fields stretch toward the horizon, shaped by wind into low, twisting forms. Rocky beaches meet clear water, and seabirds circle overhead, their cries echoing across the shore. There is no rush to fill space here. The landscape is allowed to remain open and raw. As evening approaches, the islands become especially magical. The sky turns soft shades of gold and blue, and the sea reflects every color. Sunsets feel endless, lingering as if unwilling to leave. In summer, daylight stretches late into the night, blurring the line between evening and morning. Time feels generous here. Despite their quiet nature, the islands hold deep history. Ancient stone churches stand as reminders of faith and endurance. Old roads trace paths walked for centuries, and folklore lives on in stories whispered by the wind. The past is not preserved behind barriers, it lives naturally within everyday life. What makes Estonia's islands unforgettable is their balance between isolation and belonging. They feel distant from the world, yet deeply connected to something essential. Life here is not simplified by force, but by choice, a return to what matters most. As you leave the islands behind, watching land fade into the horizon, you realize that their beauty lies not in grand spectacle, but in quiet truth. Estonia's islands do not try to impress. They invite you to stay, to listen, and to remember what it feels like to live in harmony with nature. And once you've felt that rhythm, it never truly leaves you. Scattered across Estonia's countryside are silent witnesses to another era, castles, manors, and grand estates that once stood at the center of power, wealth, and tradition. Today, many of them rest quietly among forests and fields, their walls softened by time, their stories lingering in the air. These places do not speak loudly, yet they carry a presence that is impossible to ignore. As you approach one of Estonia's historic manors, the landscape changes subtly. Long tree-lined roads lead toward elegant facades, where symmetry and detail hint at former grandeur. Some buildings are carefully restored, others gently reclaimed by nature. Moss creeps along stone walls, ivy climbs toward broken windows, and the past feels close enough to touch. Inside these estates, silence holds weight. Large halls echo softly with every step, their high ceilings once filled with music, conversation, and candlelight. Wooden staircases curve upward, worn smooth by centuries of footsteps. Even in their emptiness, these spaces feel alive, as if remembering the lives that once unfolded within them. Estonia's manors tell complex stories. They speak of noble families, shifting borders, and centuries of change. They reflect periods of influence from neighboring cultures, woven into architecture that blends local craftsmanship with European elegance. Yet beyond politics and power, these places reveal something deeply human, a desire for beauty, order, and permanence. Some castles rise from the landscape like fragments of legend. Stone towers stand against the sky, weathered but proud. Standing near them, you can imagine guards watching the horizon, torches flickering against stone, and lives shaped by both duty and uncertainty. These ruins are not signs of loss, but of endurance. Nature plays an important role in these settings. Parks and gardens surround many estates, designed once for leisure and now for reflection. Old trees stretch their branches wide, offering shade and shelter. Paths wind through greenery, inviting quiet walks where thoughts can wander freely. The connection between architecture and landscape feels intentional, balanced, and respectful. In some manners, life has returned in new forms. Museums, cultural centers, and guest houses breathe fresh energy into ancient walls. Art exhibitions, concerts, and gatherings allow the past to interact with the present. These spaces evolve without losing their soul, proving that history does not need to remain static to be honored. Yet there are also places left untouched. Abandoned estates stand quietly at the edge of forests, their windows open to wind and rain. Paint peels, floors creak, and nature slowly reclaims what was built. There is beauty here too, a reminder that time reshapes everything, and that decay can carry its own kind of elegance. Walking through these historic places, you feel a sense of continuity. Generations have come and gone, but the land remains. Stones have, with minimal friction. Services are designed to save time, reduce stress, and create space for what truly matters. In this quiet efficiency, there is freedom, the freedom to live without constant interruption. Creative energy flows through modern neighborhoods, and repurposed industrial spaces. Old factories have transformed into design studios, cafes, galleries, and startup hubs. Brick walls and wooden beams remain, honoring the past, while new ideas take shape within them. This blend of old and new gives Estonia's urban life a grounded, authentic feel. Public spaces are thoughtfully designed. Parks stretch into city centers, bike paths connect neighborhoods, and waterfronts remain open and accessible. People walk, cycle, pause, and observe. There is no rush to fill every moment. Even in busy areas, the atmosphere remains calm, respectful, and human. What stands out most is how innovation serves the people, not the other way around. Technology here is not about spectacle or excess. It is about trust, simplicity, and balance. Digital systems coexist with handwritten notes in cafes, traditional markets, and quiet conversations. Progress does not erase identity, it protects it. Modern Estonia is also deeply creative. Music, design, film, and digital art thrive in unexpected places. Small venues host powerful performances. Street art adds subtle color to city walls. Creativity is not performed loudly. It is woven naturally into everyday life, waiting to be discovered. Eifanas, cities evolve, nature remains close. A short walk can take you from modern streets into green spaces where trees outnumber buildings. This closeness keeps life grounded. It reminds people that innovation does not need to separate us from the natural world, it can exist in harmony with it. As night falls, cities glow softly rather than brightly. Lights reflect off glass and stone, creating a gentle atmosphere that feels welcoming, not overwhelming. The rhythm slows. People gather quietly, share moments, and then return home. There is a sense of balance rarely found in modern urban life. Estonia's future does not feel rushed or forced. It feels carefully built, layer by layer, with respect for the past and confidence in what lies ahead. This is a country that has learned how to move forward without losing itself. In Estonia, modern life is not about having more, it is about needing less. And in that simplicity, the future feels surprisingly peaceful. To truly understand Estonia, you must look beyond landscapes and architecture and step into the rhythm of everyday life. Culture here is not performed for attention. It is lived quietly, passed from one generation to the next with care and pride. Beneath the calm exterior lies a deep sense of belonging, resilience, and connection. Estonian traditions are rooted in nature and the changing seasons. Folk songs echo stories of land, love, and endurance, carried by voices that feel timeless. These melodies are not loud or dramatic, yet they hold incredible emotional depth. Music has always been a source of strength here, a way to preserve identity even during the most challenging times. Festivals bring communities together in a powerful yet understated way. People gather not to impress, but to participate. Traditional clothing appears in soft colors and intricate patterns, each detail telling a story of region and heritage. The atmosphere feels warm and genuine, filled with shared history rather than spectacle. One of the most important cultural rituals in Estonia is the sauna. It is more than a place to relax. It is a space for reflection, healing, and connection. In the quiet heat, conversations slow, thoughts settle, and the outside world fades away. Saunas are woven deeply into family life, friendships, and tradition, representing both physical and emotional cleansing. Food in Estonia reflects the land itself, simple, seasonal, and honest. Local ingredients take center stage, prepared with respect rather than excess. Fresh bread, forest berries, root vegetables, fish, and herbs create meals that feel grounding and nourishing. Dining is not rushed. It is a moment to pause, to share, and to appreciate. Daily life moves at a thoughtful pace. People value personal space, silence, and authenticity. Conversations may be reserved at first, but once trust is built, warmth emerges naturally. There is no need for constant expression. Meaning is often found in what remains unspoken. Family and community hold quiet importance. Small gatherings, shared meals, and traditions passed down through generations strengthen bonds. Respect for elders, care for children, and pride in heritage shape social life in subtle ways. Nothing feels forced or exaggerated. Everything feels sincere. Creativity exists here not as performance, but as expression. Handmade crafts, design, and art carry a sense of purpose. Objects are made to last, to be useful, and to carry meaning. Beauty is found in function, in simplicity, and in restraint. The relationship between people and nature shapes culture deeply. Seasonal activities like berry picking, mushroom foraging, and long walks in forests are part of everyday life. Nature is not visited occasionally, it is lived with constantly. This closeness brings humility, patience, and respect. Estonian culture may appear quiet, but it is incredibly strong. It has endured centuries of change while maintaining its core values. There is pride here, but it is not loud. There is joy, but it is calm. There is depth that reveals itself slowly. As you spend time among the people, you begin to understand Estonia, not as a destination, but as a feeling of balance, honesty, and quiet confidence, a culture that does not need to prove itself, because it knows exactly who it is. In Estonia, the passage of time is written clearly through the changing seasons. Each one transforms the land completely, reshaping not only the landscape, but the mood, the rhythm, and the way life is lived. To experience Estonia is to experience its seasons slow, dramatic, and deeply felt. Spring arrives gently, almost shyly. Snow retreats from forest floors, revealing fresh green growth beneath. Streams begin to flow freely again, and the air carries the scent of earth waking up. Birds return, filling the mornings with song. Days grow longer, and with them comes a quiet optimism, a sense of renewal that feels honest and earned. Summer brings light in abundance. The sun lingers late into the night, and darkness never fully settles. Golden evenings stretch endlessly, blurring the line between day and night. Fields glow, forests feel alive, and lakes invite stillness. Life moves outdoors, people walk, swim, gather, and simply exist under open skies. There is no rush to escape the moment when daylight itself feels precious. Autumn arrives with depth and color. Forests transform into layers of gold, red, and amber. Leaves fall softly, covering paths in warm tones. The air grows cooler, sharper, and filled with the scent of wood and earth. It is a season of reflection, of slowing down, of gathering what has been grown. Evenings feel cozier, more intimate, drawing people inward. Winter reshapes Estonia entirely. Snow blankets the land, softening edges and quieting sound. Forests become still and almost sacred. Lakes freeze into glassy silence, and breath turns visible in the cold air. Days are short, but they glow with a quiet beauty. Candlelight, warm, interiors, and shared moments become deeply meaningful. Each season carries its own emotional weight. Spring inspires hope, summer offers freedom, autumn brings gratitude, and winter teaches patience. These cycles are not rushed or resisted, they are embraced. Life adapts naturally, finding beauty in each transition. Nature dictates the rhythm of daily life. Seasonal foods appear and disappear. Activities change and traditions shift. There is an acceptance here that time moves in waves, not lines. Nothing is permanent, and nothing needs to be forced. Light plays a powerful role throughout the year. In summer, it feels endless and generous. In winter, it becomes precious, treasured in small moments. This contrast teaches awareness and appreciation for what is present, simply because it is temporary. Estonia's seasons are not just about weather. They shape perspective. They remind people to slow down, to pay attention, and to live in harmony with the world around them. The land teaches patience, resilience, and gratitude without words. As the year turns again, you realize that Estonia's beauty is never the same twice. Each season leaves its mark, creating memories layered in time. To witness these changes is to understand the soul of the country, quiet, honest, and deeply connected to the natural rhythm of life. In Estonia, seasons are not something you pass through. They are something you live within, fully and completely. There are places in Estonia that do not appear on postcards or travel lists. They exist quietly, away from busy routes and popular landmarks, waiting for those willing to wander without expectation. These hidden corners reveal a different side of the country, one that feels raw, personal, and deeply authentic. Along forgotten roads and forest paths, abandoned structures emerge from the landscape. Old Soviet-era buildings stand weathered and silent, their concrete softened by moss and vines. Nature slowly reclaims them, transforming reminders of the past into spaces of reflection. These places tell stories not through explanation, but through atmosphere, reminders of resilience, change, and quiet endurance. Small coastal villages rest peacefully by the sea, untouched by crowds. Wooden houses face the water, boats gently rocking in narrow harbors. Life moves at a steady pace, shaped by weather and tradition. Conversations are simple, routines familiar. Here, the sea is not scenery, it is a companion. Hidden viewpoints reveal Estonia in unexpected ways. Cliffs overlooking forests, quiet hills rising above lakes, and open fields stretching beneath wide skies offer moments of stillness. Standing in these places, you feel completely present. There is no rush, no noise, only space to breathe. In the countryside, small farms and rural homes blend seamlessly into the land. Smoke rises gently from chimneys, and gardens grow freely, shaped by seasons rather than schedules. Paths are unmarked, yet inviting. Getting lost here feels safe, almost encouraged, as if the land itself is guiding you. Local cafes and small shops appear unexpectedly, tucked away on quiet streets. Inside, warmth replaces anonymity. Conversations unfold naturally, unhurried and sincere. These spaces reflect Estonia's quiet hospitality, not loud or performative, but genuine and welcoming. Hidden trails lead deep into forests where few footprints remain. Here, nature feels untouched, uninterrupted. The air is clean, the silence deep. Walking these paths feels like stepping outside of time, where the modern world briefly loosens its grip. Even in cities, secret spaces exist. Courtyards hidden behind ancient walls, stairways leading to unexpected views, and narrow streets that feel forgotten by time. These places reward curiosity, offering moments of surprise and connection. What makes these hidden gems special is not their scale or fame, but their honesty. They have not been shaped for visitors. They exist simply because they always have. Experiencing them feels like being trusted with something personal, something real. As you discover these quiet places, your relationship with Estonia deepens. You stop observing from a distance and begin to feel part of the landscape. The country opens itself slowly, on its own terms. Estonia does not reveal its secrets easily, but for those who listen, wander, and wait, it offers something far more meaningful than spectacle. A sense of belonging in places where silence speaks louder than words. As our journey through Estonia comes to an end, there is one truth that remains clear. This country is not built from noise or grandeur. It is built from quiet strength, from resilience shaped by centuries of change, and from a deep respect for nature, culture, and simplicity. Estonia does not chase attention. It earns it, slowly, with patience. In Estonia, every step feels intentional. Cities are modern yet calm. Forests are vast yet welcoming. And history is present without being heavy. The country feels like a place where time moves differently. Not faster, not slower, just more honestly. Here, life is not about constant acceleration. It is about living in harmony with the world around you. The landscapes we've seen are not merely beautiful. They are alive. The forests carry a stillness that feels sacred. The coastline stretches with quiet power. Lakes reflect the sky with a calm clarity. Even the smallest paths feel meaningful, as if the land itself remembers every footstep that has passed through it. Estonia's heritage is not hidden behind grand monuments. It is found in the details in the wooden houses, the folk songs, the sauna steam, and the traditions that continue without needing to be showcased. The past is not erased, it is honored. The present is not loud, it is balanced. And the future is not rushed, it is thoughtfully built. The people of Estonia live with a quiet confidence. They do not seek approval, yet they remain open, kind, and sincere. There is a sense of trust here. Trust in the land, in each other, and in the idea that life can be lived simply without losing depth. It is a reminder that true strength does not always announce itself. Sometimes it stands quietly, steady as stone. If you leave Estonia with one memory, let it be this: beauty can be found in restraint, peace can be found in silence, and meaning can be found in places that do not need to shout to be noticed. Estonia teaches us that the most powerful experiences are often the ones that unfold slowly, the ones that require patience and presence. As the final light fades over forests and lakes, imagine the soft hush of wind through trees, the gentle ripple of water, and the quiet warmth of a small, welcoming home. These are the moments that define Estonia, not grand, but deeply real. So, if you ever seek a place where the world feels calm, where history feels alive, and where nature feels close enough to touch, return to Estonia in your mind. Let its quiet strength stay with you, because sometimes the most extraordinary journeys are the ones that teach us to listen. Estonia is a land where contrasts coexist seamlessly. In the cities, technology hums quietly in the background, enabling daily life with efficiency and ease, yet it never overwhelms. In the countryside, forests, lakes, and meadows stretch uninterrupted, offering spaces where time slows and the mind can wander freely. This balance between modernity and nature is not accidental. It is a reflection of a culture that values harmony over spectacle, presence over pretense. As we explore deeper, the small villages scattered across the country reveal the quiet heartbeat of Estonia. Here, life moves at its own pace. Wooden houses, painted in warm reds and yellows, dot the landscape. Gardens grow lush with herbs and vegetables, and smoke rises gently from chimneys, signaling the rhythm of everyday life. In these places, tradition is not performative. It is lived in simple meals, in family gatherings, in folk songs sung softly during long evenings. The forests of Estonia hold a special kind of magic. Walking along moss-covered paths, you notice the subtle changes in light as it filters through the trees. The air is rich with the scent of pine and damp earth. Birds call from hidden branches, and occasionally, a deer or fox may appear at the edge of vision. These forests are not merely scenic, they are sacred spaces, shaping the way Estonians connect to the world around them. Nature here is not a backdrop, it is a teacher, offering lessons in patience, observation, and humility. Water is another defining element of Estonia. Thousands of lakes and rivers crisscross the land, and the Baltic Sea stretches endlessly along its coast. Lakes reflect the sky with astonishing clarity, creating mirrors that blur the line between earth and heavens. In winter, these same waters freeze, transforming into expanses of glass that invite exploration and reflection. Coastal villages breathe with the rhythm of tides and the movement of fishing boats, reminding us that life here is deeply tied to the cycles of the natural world. Hidden gems are everywhere if you know where to look. From abandoned farmhouses slowly being reclaimed by nature, to secluded cliffs overlooking mist-covered valleys, these places carry stories that feel intimate, even sacred. Visiting them requires patience and curiosity, qualities that Estonia encourages in subtle ways. Unlike tourist-driven destinations, these sites reward those who take the time to see, to listen, and to immerse themselves in the moment. Estonia's cultural heritage is inseparable from its natural landscapes. Folk traditions celebrate the seasons, with festivals marking the arrival of spring, the abundance of summer, the reflective calm of autumn, and the stillness of winter. Music, dance, and storytelling are interwoven into these rhythms, giving life a continuity that spans generations. Even modern Estonian music, art, and literature draw inspiration from the land and its history, blending past and present into a cohesive whole. Technology in Estonia is remarkable, yet unobtrusive. Digital innovation has allowed the country to function seamlessly, from e-residency programs to paperless governance, without undermining the slow, reflective pace of life that defines the nation. This coexistence of the ancient and the modern is rare and profound. It demonstrates that progress does not need to erase culture or nature, but can instead enhance human experience in harmony with them. As day turns into night, Estonia takes on a different kind of beauty. Cities glow softly under streetlights, their reflections dancing on wet cobblestones. The forests darken, but the stars shine with remarkable clarity above, unobstructed by the glare of human activity. In these moments, the country feels almost timeless, a place where modern life and ancient presence coexist effortlessly, where every sound, every shadow, and every breath carries meaning. Traveling through Estonia is not about crossing off landmarks. It is about experiencing subtlety, depth, and authenticity. It is about feeling the pulse of a country that values quiet reflection as much as innovation, that honors history while embracing the future. In every village, forest, and lake, there is a story waiting not told loudly, but felt deeply by those who take the time to notice. When you think of Estonia, you might imagine forests and lakes, old castles and modern cities. But the true essence lies in how these elements blend together. In Estonia, nature does not feel distant from daily life. It is part of it. People live with the seasons, not against them. They respect the land, the water, and the silence. This connection creates a sense of peace that is rare in today's fast-paced world. The countryside reveals this most clearly. Rolling fields and dense forests stretch for miles, inviting you to slow down and breathe. The air feels cleaner here, almost pure. Walking along these paths, you can feel the history beneath your feet. Every tree, every stone, every small village holds a story. It's a reminder that Estonia's beauty is not just visual, it is emotional. Estonia's villages carry a unique charm. Wooden houses, painted in warm tones, sit quietly along narrow roads. Gardens bloom with herbs, flowers, and vegetables, shaped by careful hands. Smoke rises from chimneys, signaling the warmth inside. Here, life is simple but meaningful. It is a life built on tradition, family, and a deep respect for the land. But Estonia is not stuck in the past. The cities are proof of that. Tallinn, Tartu, and other urban centers blend modern innovation with historical elegance. Sleek architecture stands beside medieval walls. Startups thrive alongside ancient cobblestone streets. This contrast is not chaotic. It is balanced, intentional, and inspiring. What makes Estonia truly special is how it uses technology. Digital life here is seamless, efficient, and user-friendly. Services are designed to save time, reduce stress, and allow people to focus on what matters most. Yet technology does not dominate. It supports, quietly, like a strong foundation beneath a calm surface. Culture in Estonia is also deeply rooted in nature. Folk songs, festivals, and traditions are tied to the changing seasons. People celebrate the arrival of spring, the long summer nights, the golden autumn, and the quiet winter. These traditions are not just performances, they are lived experiences. They connect generations and preserve a sense of identity that is both strong and humble. And then there is the sense of silence, one of Estonia's most powerful qualities. Silence here is not emptiness, it is presence. It is a space where thoughts can settle, where you can feel grounded. In the forests, by the lakes, and even in the city parks, silence feels like a gift. It reminds you to slow down, to listen, and to appreciate the moment. As we near the end of our journey, it becomes clear that Estonia teaches a simple lesson. You don't need to be loud to be remarkable. Sometimes, the most powerful experiences are the quietest. The most meaningful moments are the ones that happen without a crowd. The most beautiful places are the ones that don't demand attention, they earn it. Estonia is a country of balance between past and future, nature and innovation, silence and strength. It is a place where every scene feels intentional, every moment feels real, and every experience feels personal. This is what makes it so special. And as you leave Estonia behind, you carry a sense of calm with you. A reminder that life can be lived with purpose, without rush. A reminder that beauty can be found in simplicity. A reminder that sometimes the quietest places leave the deepest impact. As our journey through Estonia reaches its final chapter, there is a quiet realization that settles in this country is not defined by one single moment, one famous landmark, or one unforgettable scene. Estonia is defined by the way it makes you feel. It is defined by the calm it brings, the sense of balance it creates, and the way it teaches you to see beauty in simplicity. Think back to the forest, deep, endless, and serene. Imagine the path beneath your feet, covered in moss and leaves, with light filtering through the trees like soft gold. The air feels alive, yet peaceful. It is a place where time slows, and your thoughts become clear. In Estonia, nature is not something you observe from a distance. It is something you step into, something you become a part of. Now, remember the coastline, where the Baltic Sea stretches into the horizon, meeting the sky in a quiet line. The water moves gently, almost as if it is breathing. Small fishing villages sit calmly by the shore, their wooden houses reflecting a life that moves with the tides. Here, you can feel the rhythm of the sea in your chest, like a slow, steady heartbeat. And then there are the cities, modern, yet respectful of their past. Tallinn's old town stands like a storybook brought to life, with cobblestone streets, ancient walls, and towers reaching into the sky. But beyond the historic charm, there is a modern pulse, clean architecture, efficient systems, and a lifestyle that feels both progressive and grounded. It's a rare blend that feels effortless, as if the past and the future have found a way to coexist peacefully. Estonia's people are part of this harmony. They carry a quiet confidence, a calm strength that doesn't need to be shown off. They value honesty, respect, and simplicity. Conversations may start slowly, but they become meaningful quickly. In Estonia, relationships are built on trust, and trust is built on patience. There is no need for pretenses. Everything feels real. The culture here is rooted in the seasons. Each one brings its own mood, its own beauty, and its own lessons. Spring offers renewal and hope. Summer gives freedom and light. Autumn brings reflection and warmth. Winter teaches stillness and resilience. These cycles shape life in Estonia, and they shape the way people think and live. They remind you that everything changes, and that change can be beautiful. Estonia also teaches a modern lesson that technology can improve life without taking away its soul. The country's digital systems are advanced, yet they are designed to support people, not control them. Everything works smoothly, quietly, and efficiently. It feels like the future, but it feels human. This is the kind of innovation that doesn't distract, it frees. As the final light fades over the land, imagine standing in a quiet place, maybe by a lake, maybe in a forest, maybe on a cliff overlooking the sea. The world is calm, the air is still. You can hear your own breath. In that moment, you understand what Estonia truly offers. A chance to slow down, to breathe, and to feel connected to something larger than yourself. This is the real magic of Estonia, not the famous sights or the popular destinations, but the quiet moments in between. The ones that make you feel alive, grounded, and deeply present. The ones that stay with you long after you leave. So if you ever find yourself searching for a place that feels honest, peaceful, and powerful in its simplicity, remember Estonia. Remember its forests, its seas, its seasons, and its silent strength. Remember how it made you feel. Because sometimes, the most extraordinary journeys are the ones that teach you how to be still. As our journey through Estonia comes to an end, one truth becomes clear. This is not a country that demands attention. It quietly earns it. From the ancient forests to the calm coastlines, from medieval streets to modern innovation, Estonia shows us that beauty doesn't need noise. It doesn't need crowds. It doesn't need to prove itself. It simply exists. And the deeper you look, the more it reveals. So if you ever feel lost in the chaos of modern life, remember this place, a land where silence is powerful, nature is sacred, and time moves at its own pace. Thank you for traveling with us. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more 4K travel documentaries. And if you want to explore another hidden gem, let us know in the comments. Until next time, keep traveling, keep dreaming, and keep your heart open to the world's quietest wonders. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels and see you in the next video.